Last week we reviewed everybody's class projects. I was expecting to see 15 very similar projects. I was wrong. There were many different types of projects based around different ideas of what big data is and what it can do. There were projects scraping Twitter in order to find data regarding information sharing on Twitter itself. There were projects scraping Twitter to compare sentiment on Twitter and compare that to other sources of sentiment. There were projects scraping Twitter to discern the location at which people choose to tweet. Several projects are scraping web form postings to glean information from them. Sometimes this data is correlated with an authoritative source. What we saw was that even though there was a lot of Twitter and a lot of Google use, there's a wide variety in what data was being pulled and what that data was being used for. What is clear from the many variations in project design and scope is that big data is not one thing capable of answering one type of question. It is many things. This is both good and bad. It is good because the technology, the education, the public awareness of the field drive people to think about big data and to think about questions in terms of big data. It's bad because there are no direct means of comparing the methods utilized or even the validity of the various projects. Perhaps, though, this is where the 3+ V's of big data come into play: volume, velocity, variety, and possibly value. I think that value, which is not even an agreed upon V of big data, is probably the most important of these attributes. Where volume and velocity and variety change a lot, they don't really change what the problem is doing and how that problem can answer the question. Value is driven by the application. In the project presentations, it was clear that the value of the data depended greatly upon the questions the data was being asked to answer and the means in which the developer was posing those questions. Value also depends upon how the answers are presented, and that's where the human-computer interaction side of this course comes into play. Without effective visualizations, the best data in the world is as valuable as a brick.